Have you ever been told you're an old soul? Or maybe you've looked back and realized you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders when you were just a kid. If that resonates, you might be one of the many who grew up just a little too fast. This isn't about being mature for your age. It's about a childhood that was cut short, a phenomenon psychologists call parentification. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology behind it, understanding its long-term effects, and most importantly, exploring how to heal. So, what exactly does it mean to grow up too fast? It's when a child has to take on roles and responsibilities that are far beyond their developmental age. This isn't just about doing chores. It's about becoming a confidant for a parent's problems, mediating family conflicts, or even taking care of younger siblings to the point where your own needs are forgotten. Essentially, the parent-child roles get reversed. Psychologists break this down into two main types: instrumental and emotional parentification. Instrumental is when a child handles practical adult tasks like paying bills, managing the household, or taking care of a sick family member. Emotional parentification is when a child becomes the emotional support system for a parent, their therapist, their cheerleader, their rock. The child learns to suppress their own feelings to manage the emotions of an adult. They become a little caretaker, not just of tasks, but of feelings. This experience fundamentally rewires a child's developing brain and their understanding of the world. On the surface, these kids can look like superstars. They're responsible, reliable, and incredibly independent. Teachers love them, and other parents might even say, "I wish my kid was more like yours." But underneath that capable exterior, a different story is unfolding. The child learns that their value comes from what they do for others, not from who they are. Their sense of self becomes tangled up in their ability to be useful and to keep the peace. Play, spontaneity, and just being a kid feel like luxuries they can't afford. They're constantly in problem-solving mode, scanning their environment for what needs to be fixed or who needs to be soothed. This creates a state of chronic hypervigilance, an alertness that's exhausting to maintain. They might not even realize it, but they're carrying a heavy burden of anxiety, constantly worried about letting someone down or failing in their duties. As these children step into adulthood, the patterns they learned in childhood don't just disappear. In fact, they often become more pronounced. Many adults who were parentified as children become chronic people pleasers. Saying no feels almost impossible because their core belief is that their worth is tied to their helpfulness. They might find themselves in relationships where they are constantly overgiving, attracting partners who need fixing, or taking on the emotional labor for everyone around them. This can lead to burnout, resentment, and a profound sense of emptiness. Because they never learn to prioritize their own needs, they might not even know what those needs are. Fun, rest, and self-care can feel selfish or unproductive. Another common trait is a relentless perfectionism and an intense fear of failure. When you've been praised your whole life for being competent and responsible, the idea of making a mistake can be terrifying. It feels like you're not just failing at a task, but failing at your very identity. This can lead to analysis paralysis, where you're so afraid of making the wrong choice that you make no choice at all. It also makes it incredibly difficult to be vulnerable. If you've spent your life being the strong one, showing weakness or asking for help can feel like a fundamental betrayal of who you're supposed to be. This creates a wall of isolation, even when you're surrounded by people who care about you. You might feel disconnected, like you're playing a role rather than living an authentic life. The inner child who was never allowed to just be is still there, longing for a chance to play and be cared for. So, how do you begin to heal? How do you reconnect with that inner child and learn to put yourself first? The journey of healing is about reparenting yourself. It starts with a simple but powerful act, giving yourself permission. Permission to rest without guilt. Permission to have fun just for the sake of it. Permission to say no to things that drain you. The first step is awareness. Recognizing these patterns in your own life is a huge breakthrough. Start by noticing when you slip into that caretaker role. When you feel that familiar urge to fix someone else's problem, pause. Ask yourself, what do I need right now? It might feel awkward and selfish at first, and that's okay. You are literally unlearning a lifetime of conditioning. A crucial part of this process is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about protecting your own energy and well-being. A boundary can be as simple as saying, I can't talk on the phone after 9 p.m., or I'm not able to take on that extra project right now. When you set a boundary, you might feel a wave of guilt. That's the old programming kicking in. Ride that wave. Remind yourself that your needs are valid. You are not responsible for managing other people's reactions to your boundaries. Your only responsibility is to honor yourself. This is how you start to teach yourself that you are inherently worthy, not just for what you do, but for who you are. Another powerful healing tool is reconnecting with play. What did you love to do as a kid before the weight of the world settled on your shoulders? Was it drawing, dancing, building things, or just getting lost in a good book? Make time for those activities. It's not about being good at them. It's about experiencing joy and spontaneity without a goal or purpose. This is how you give your inner child the childhood they missed. It's about letting go of the need to be productive and simply allowing yourself to exist and have fun. This might feel silly, but it's a profound act of self-love. It's you telling that little kid inside, I see you, I hear you, and now it's your turn to be carefree. Finally, and this is so important, don't be afraid to seek professional support. A therapist who understands parentification and childhood trauma can provide a safe space for you to explore these deep-seated patterns. They can offer you tools and strategies tailored to your specific experience. Healing isn't a linear path. There will be good days and bad days. There will be moments where you fall back into old habits. That's not failure. That's being human. The goal isn't to become a perfect healed person overnight. The goal is to become a person who is kinder to themselves, who understands their own story, and who knows, deep in their bones, that they are worthy of rest, joy, and unconditional love. You have carried enough for a lifetime. It's time to gently set that weight down and learn to take care of the one person you've been neglecting all along, yourself. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on psychology and self-growth. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.